Greetings and welcome back to Sentinels of the Multiverse. In this episode, we'll be going up against Grand Warlord Voss, who's basically Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet. He's a pretty tough customer. He is a conquering alien warlord. He conquered, he's actually Tempest's nemesis. He conquered Tempest homeworld, and he's enslaved people, made them gene-bound to him, and uses them as soldiers. He's one of the more difficult opponents. He's difficulty 3, but actually you're going to see with the proper opponents, he's not as difficult as he seems. Because his main weakness is ongoing cards. He only has one card that can deal with ongoing cards, and it only takes out one a turn, and it's something that we can remove fairly easily. It may get a few, but I mean, even with you having 3 heroes in, each of your heroes can get, with 3 heroes, you can get 1 fodder to be destroyed every turn, usually. But we are going to take Tempest, Haka, and Fanatic. But we're going to use the variants of them, because these 3 are members of the Prime Wardens. Now, there are more Prime Wardens in the expansions, but these are the 3 that we have in the base set. But I'm going to highlight their variant, the Prime Warden variant. It changes their powers, and we are going to face him at Wagner Mars base before he can make it to Earth. Now, this is listed as a difficulty 2 environment. It does have some things that kind of impede play, but it has an awesome synergy with Haka here. I mean, just a synergy you wouldn't believe. You might think of it as a little bit of an exploit, but it's something that's really, it might come up during the course, and it's something that Haka can do with this environment that can just completely shut down the villains. Now, Fanatic's ability to deal with non-characters and neutralize them, pretty much all of Voss's stuff is damage dealing, with the exception of the one thing that can destroy ongoing. It also deals damage, so her Zealous Offense and Chastise are fairly useful against him for a little bit, and you'll see why. But we're going to jump in here. My old foe and the puny locals have united? Perfect. All of you in the same place will make for short work. The valor of these people is unrivaled, and your oppression will not persist. We meet in battle. So Voss, when he starts out, he brings minions into play based on the number of heroes. Now, this means this is actually going to be a little bit easier fight against him, bringing less heroes out, because he will flip if there are no minions in play. And at the start of the turn, if he has 10 or more in play, he has overrun the planet with his Thorathian army, and the game is over. So we can't let him build up minions. But having minions in play reduces damage to Voss. 2 for each minion. So even though she can shut down some of the damage dealers till we can deal with them, we still want to eventually deal with them, otherwise it's reducing what we do to Voss. Now when he flips, if we take out all of his minions, he'll flip back if he gets two or more minions in play. So he'll only really have 1 and stay on this side constantly. He reduces damage only by 1 per minion. So he has very little resistance, but he still has some. And then he will attack both the highest and the lowest hit point person, but with only 3 in play, his damage is not that significant. So let's let him jump in here. He's going to get 3 minions out. He gets a gene-bound soldier. Now each of his minions are immune to the type of damage they do. This one attacks 1 target, the person with the highest hit points for a projectile. Gene-bound Frost Hound does cold to everybody. And the gene-bound shock infantry is a Meridian. It's one of Tempest race that's been enslaved by Voss. And it does lightning to the person with the highest. So unfortunately, Tempest has to face one of his former, possibly a former friend, but definitely somebody from his planet. And for his card play, he gets out a Fire Sworn that does fire damage to 2 targets. No, just the one with the highest. Okay. So Haka gets shot at. The Frost Hound starts tearing us up. Haka also gets attacked by the Meridian and the Fire Sworn. So they all went after Haka. Always at Haka. Alright, so I can't harm the Meridian with lightning, but I can harm everything else. So I can take out some of the more dangerous ones. I can't hurt Voss. So what we're going to do is get out a Chain Lightning. And we are going to take out the one that hits everybody, the Frost Hound. We'll take out the Fire Sworn, because both of these do 2. It really doesn't matter which we remove. And we will do some damage on the soldier. Now, Tempest's ability as a Prime Warden is Arc of Power. He can play up to 3 cards, but each time he plays a card, the environment does him 3 lightning damage. That's fine. What he is going to do is just play 1 card. He's also going to get out his Otherworldly Resilience, which reduces damage, so he'll take 2. But now he will end up taking less from anything else that attacks him. That's the only card he's going to play this turn. Alright, now she can do a Final Dive, which destroys a target with 4 or fewer hit points. So Tempest came out with a nice little volley and took out a couple of Voss's minions. She's going to remove the Shock Infantry and throw it at Voss for a point. Either way, it'd only be doing a point because he's only got 1 health left. Let's see. Yeah. Let's take out the Gene-bound soldier. No, he's immune to projectile. So yes, we have to do it. We have to fling. The Gene-bound soldier would have avoided that. So we just fling the Meridian towards Voss. And her power, Resolute, she deals herself 3 radiant damage, plays the top card of her deck, and allows 1 hero to use a power. And she ended up chastising the Gene-bound soldier, so he won't flip just yet, because that's now immune to damage. And let's let Haka use a power, because Haka's power is Guardian. He can play a card. If that card has Haka in the title, he can allow another target to get the benefits of him discarding it. But what he is going to play is he's going to go ahead and get his Melee out. Now, unfortunately, that Gene-bound soldier can't go away because it's been chastised. But he can play Haka of Battle. He'll draw 2 cards, and then he can discard cards. And each card he discards will increase his damage, because right now he has 2 points of damage reduction. Well, we're going to discard 1 of the Rampages, and that's it. Nope. Actually, yeah, that will be it. We'll just discard 1, so we're only going to do 1 point to him with our Melee. But we will be able to draw a card. And, of course, we're going to go ahead and say Haka draws all game. We'll probably do this with the others as well. There's no reason for them not to go through their decks. Alright, we have a self-destruct sequence that is started. Apparently the battle dislodged something. Now when this comes into play, the top 2 cards of the environment deck are placed next to it face down. At the start of their turn, a player can skip their phase to add another card to it. At the start of the environment turn, if there are 5 cards here, the sequence is aborted and everything's discarded. Otherwise, it removes 1 card from the countdown pile. Now, if there's ever no cards in the countdown pile, everyone dies and the game is over. So we are now on a little bit of a time limit. And it got out the 1 card that can deal with hero ongoing cards. The TCF Conqueror. He called in his ship, his Dreadnought. It's also immune to melee damage, which means Haka can't hurt it. And at the start of the villain turn, it would destroy an ongoing card. At the end of the villain turn, it does fire damage to everybody. That's the only effect that's going to come into play right now. So we're all going to take some fire damage because he called in some bombardment on us. Now, what I can do instead of skipping the rest of my turn is this is still an environment card. I can just destroy it with Flash Flood. And as a matter of fact, that's what we're going to do. We can hold off on that till we need it. So what we are going to do is we are going to try and tear down that Conqueror. So we're going to hit it with Ball Lightning. And we're actually going to get rid of Chastise. And that's all we're going to get rid of. Now I could use my power and go ahead and get rid of that, but we've got 2 turns. So it's no rush. And this destroys 2 environment cards, so if it gets another nasty one out, I can take care of it. So we're just going to hold off. But he did send a nice, impressive blast of lightning toward the Conqueror, and it actually stunned the Genebound Soldier into activity again. Alright, so she can do a final dive to get rid of that soldier and fling it at the Conqueror. It's not immune to projectile. Use her ability. It's going to hurt herself a little bit. She gets out her Aegis of Resurrection. If she ever would be dropped to 0, it'll restore her to 10 and go away. So that gives her a chance to stay alive. And she can let someone else use her power. And that will be Haka. So Haka is going to get a... play a card using Guardian and get Dominion in play. So that when the self-destruct sequence goes away, he can draw a card. Alright, he's not skipping his turn. And he's going to get his other Dominion in play. And I can't hurt the Conqueror. I could do some damage to Voss and draw a card. But right now I think I'm better off with Haka continuing to be a Guardian and getting his Tomoko ready. So the self-destruct sequence is still counting down. We're waiting till the last minute. We have Pervasive Red Dust. Gets rid of 3 equipment cards. We only have 2. Now at the start of the turn we could all discard a card to get rid of it, but that's why I saved. Now the Conqueror is going to get rid of 1 card. We're actually going to get rid of the Otherworldly Resilience. I have another one. And he got out a Quark Drive Translocator. Now he's going to be doing damage. Conqueror is going to be hitting all of us. So he was momentarily made vulnerable by the Conqueror's blast. He's not going to skip his turn because he's about to deal with them with Flash Flood. But first I'm going to do Otherworldly Resilience again and actually use my power to do Flash Flood. And now he can get rid of the self-destruct sequence, which will allow Haka to draw cards, and I need to set these for all game. And then he will destroy the pervasive red dust, and when it's destroyed, players can return one piece of equipment from the trash into play. So actually, we're going to let the pervasive red dust take effect first. All of our equipment comes right back. So with a nice flood, he got the red dust out of the way so she could find her breastplate and Haka could find his melee. Now Haka gets to draw some more cards. And I'm not going to play anymore. And I'm going to set him up to draw every turn. Alright, so she could get out. Yes, let's get out Sacrosanct Martyr. And she is going to deal herself radiant damage to play the top card of her deck, which is a Prayer of Desperation. That'll immediately end her turn, but gets her cards in her hand. Now I believe she could still select someone else to use a power. Yes. And we are going to select Haka. So Haka can keep playing cards. He can actually... I could actually put a shielding on one of the others, or give them a Haka battle, or do that for myself, but I'm actually going to do a Vitality Surge. Keep Haka as the healthiest one, and that allows him to draw a card. Now this Quark Drive Translocator, the first time a minion enters play, he gets to play another card. So basically he moved his ship a little closer and set up a thing to help bringing in more minions. Now Haka can deal with that, and he can also hurt Voss, but he can't really do anything to the Conqueror. So what we're going to do with him is do a Haka of Battle. Allows him to draw 2, and then I can start discarding cards. Let's get rid of the 2 shieldings and the 2 Tomokos. So right now he will be doing 4 extra damage. The melee does 2, so that is 6 damage, with 4 more damage, basically getting rid of all of the cards he has left. He is going to be able to take out that Quark. He's going to be able to charge over there and use his melee to dismantle the Quark Drive Translocator. 1 hit. Boom. It's gone. We don't have to worry about it. Alright, now there's a Meteor Storm. All targets become immune to damage. A player can skip their turn to destroy the card. So the Conqueror will not be able to hurt us, nor will Voss this turn. Of course, we won't be able to do damage either. Now, it will still be able to destroy a card. Let's get rid of Tempest's otherworldly resilience again. He'll get it back. The Conqueror's got him a little shaken, especially since he saw a Meridian early on. Now, First Lieutenant Victor just came out of the ship. He increases the damage that hero targets take. But the Meteor Storm has still got us protected. Now, he is not a minion, so he won't give Voss any resistance or make him flip, just like the ship is not a minion. Alright, Tempest is going to skip his turn. That's going to give Haka some more choices. And now she is actually going to smite the transgressor. She'll do a 1 target 2 melee damage, which is going to be First Lieutenant Victor. Or actually, no. She's actually going to hit Voss, because he's the actual transgressor. He's the one causing this invasion. Now she can use an extra power. So she can use her Resolute. It's going to do a little damage to herself. Gets out a Brutal Censure that allows her to do 2 radiant damage to something. She will hit the, let's see, she has taken how much damage? 4. Yes, she's going to hit the Conqueror with a Brutal Censure. She's going to allow Haka to play a card or to use a power. And he is going to do another Vitality Surge with his Guardian ability. And this is mainly for the card draw over anything else. Now she can use Sacrosanct Martyr. Now what this does is lets her do radiant damage to herself up to 5. And then she can turn around and do 1 target X radiant damage, where X is the amount she's taken this turn. Well, she's already taken 4. So if we can take 4 more, we can take out that ship. So we're going to use that power, and we're going to do 3 to ourselves, because First Lieutenant Victor is going to increase that. And now she's going to use her Martyr ability and remove that ship. Now it may end up costing her her life, but she has an Aegis of Resurrection. So she decided to nearly sacrifice herself to take that ship out of play. Now, Haka saw that sacrifice and decided he's going to make sure she's not removed for a turn. He starts pounding the ground like mad. Let's get rid of Enduring Intercession and 1 Elbow Smash. And he's going to use the Melee and smack Voss upside the head for making Fnatic have to do that. And he can actually do another ground pound next turn if he wanted to. Alright, now there's an oxygen leak. All fire damage is reduced by 3. So Haka's pounding has made a breach in the base. And at the end of the environment turn, 1 player can get rid of this. At the start of the environment turn, this will do toxic damage to every target based on the number of cards in the environment trash. So it would do 5 toxic damage to everything. That's something we don't want to deal with. So she's got the most cards. She can actually discard a card. Say Prayer of Desperation. She won't need that anytime soon. So she does a Prayer of Desperation to make sure that the base doesn't destabilize completely. That allows Haka, inspires Haka's Dominion. Now he brings out Field Lieutenant Tamar, not a minion, another Therathian, that reduces damage to Therathians and minions, and he's a Therathian, by 1. But nobody can deal damage. Alright, so we're going to get out some Shielding Winds to protect ourselves from major damage. And we don't want to use our power because we don't want to take unnecessary damage playing just Vicious Cyclone. Alright, now she can't... every one of these has 1 point of damage reduction. So we're going to have to do some hard-hitting damage, and I don't want to keep damaging myself at this point. I'm going to get out Absolution. It'll get me a little healing. And she actually is drawing her sword now and going to start doing some damage. She's going to do radiant damage to the one that makes us take more damage. He could do 3. Okay. Actually, no, we need to get rid of the one that's giving him resistance. We'll have to take out the field lieutenant first. Alright, Haka is going to punish the weak. That allows him to do an extra point of damage to the non-hero with the lowest hit points. And if he hits anything else, he does less damage. And now that he is punishing the weak, he's going to use his Guardian ability to elbow smash Field Lieutenant Tamar, which makes it just enough to remove their resistance. Now that was risky because we might, Fnatic might have to use her Aegis. Okay, we got another oxygen leak. She can deal with that actually, I think. Yeah, she could deal with it with just consecrated ground. So yeah, we're not going to discard to get rid of this. We're just going to skip that. Because we don't have to worry about it until the start of next round. And that'll reduce fire damage in case he gets out of Fire Sworn. He got out of Guard, reduces damage to villain targets again. Now he does fire damage to the person with the lowest. So keeping the oxygen leak in play that turn saved her from taking some damage. Now he's going to get out a localized hurricane. And what he's going to do is it can do 3 projectile damage to 2 different targets. He's going to do some to this guard. And some to Voss. Because it also allows him to draw 2 cards. Alright, now, her being able to deal with the oxygen leak, the secondary effect of this is doing radiant damage. The guard prevented her from doing what she wanted with that. But she still needs to get rid of that oxygen leak. Because otherwise that would have been very painful for us. So, none of these will end up taking damage. So I can just stop dealing damage. But with her Absolution, she can take out that guard. So now Haka can do full damage to them. Now there is a reason to have Savage Mana out, because he does have a forced redeployment, or forced deployment, which when it's destroyed takes all the minion cards from the trash and puts them into play. And at the start of the villain turn, it will automatically be destroyed. Now, if that puts 10 in play, it is already after his check. Because order matters. It'll do his check if he's on this side, say for example. It'll do his start of the villain turn if there are 10 or more in play. It's overrun before it goes to another card that was in play. So you don't have to worry about him immediately winning from that. But that does, the Savage Mana does make that card have less of a bite if he doesn't have minions to bring back. But what we really need to do, because we can't really take anything out this turn, What we need to do is do a ground pound. Get rid of both of these other punish the weaks. Now I could do a Haka of Restoration on her, but she's got the Aegis in case she needs it. So I want to keep doing some damage and drawing cards. And I need to get Victor beat down so somebody else can get rid of him. Because he's causing us to take more damage. And there's a fire in the biosphere. It deals each target 2 fire damage, so it's going to get rid of Victor. And then each hero has to either destroy an ongoing card or take more fire damage. And we can't get rid of it till the start of the turn, but we're going to get hit by it anyway because it happens at the end of phase, except for the fact that Haka was busy doing a ground pound. So we don't have to worry about this. It can't deal damage. Haka's shaking, even though it ignited a fire, we're safe from it for this turn. Yep, and he just got a forced redeployment, or forced deployment out. And when we get rid of that, it's going to bring all of them back out. So we want to control that for how we want it out. And I think I know what we need to do. All right, what do people have in their trash? He's got the Flash Flood and the Ball Lightning. She can get rid of that. And then all of the minions will get hit by her effect and the fire in the biosphere. That may actually be the way to go. So what we'll do is get out an Electrical Storm. Now, Victor is not a minion. He won't be brought back. This brings back minion cards, not Therathians. So what we're going to do is take out Victor so that we're not taking extra damage. Do some damage on Voss. Draw 2 more cards. We're going to keep that localized hurricane going for a little bit. Because we do have the shielding winds. Yeah, we can actually get rid of that another way if we wanted to. We could just, one player could discard 2 cards. So yeah, we're going to do Consecrated Ground to go ahead and trigger the forced deployment. So that we have a chance to eliminate some things. Now, unfortunately, I didn't even think of this. The Genebound Guard is going to neutralize the bonus damage she would do. We need to get the Genebound Guards completely removed. Because, yeah, none of these can take damage because of the Genebound Guard. Might as well not even deal damage. Alright, she'll use Absolution for radiant damage to hit the Genebound Guard so that Haka can remove it. Now Haka will get out Savage Mana and use his Melee to get rid of the Genebound Guard. Now it can't come back. Now if we let this go, it's going to do 4 to us and 2 to everything else. Now it won't hurt him because he's got enough minions out there. It'll just get all these down to like 1. And we can actually take them out fairly well anyway. So we are going to get rid of the fire. One player can discard 2 cards. And we're actually going to let Tempest do it. He's going to get rid of his Cyclone and the spare shielding winds. That lets Haka draw more. So eventually Haka can do a really nasty Haka. But unfortunately they got out some villainous weaponry. That increases the damage that villains do. And if you look at the image, well, he got out an Ion Lancer. Alright, let's... first time we get a choice, I'll be able to do this. Because the villainous weaponry is boosting everything. There we go. If you look at the image here, that's actually Voss. Voss found him some villainous weaponry and started outfitting his team. So this is going to hurt a little. And the Ion Lancer is going to trigger her Aegis of Resurrection. So yes, his force deployment overwhelmed us a little bit. We're all reeling from that. But he's got an electrical storm now. Now, it can't hurt the Meridians, and it can't hurt Voss, so order doesn't really matter here. Everything's going to take a little bit of damage. And then I can do a chain lightning and eliminate some of these. But I think a better choice right now would be a Reclaim from the Deep. That allows everybody to move a card from their trash to the top of their deck. Alright, so I am going to get my Otherworldly Resilience back. She is going to get her Aegis of Resurrection back. And he is going to get a Ground Pound back. Excuse me. Now I can do projectile damage and take out a couple of these. Ones that I don't mind coming back. Ones that are going to be going for whoever has the most. That would be the Fire Sworn. And the Meridian. I'm sorry, friend. You have to go. Alright. Now she can do a Holy Nova. And I actually probably should have put one of those hits on the weaponry. But oh well, hindsight. We're going to do a Holy Nova. Well, no, actually it was unnecessary. Yeah. Yeah. Does he have... Yes, he can get out his Taiaha and remove that villainous weaponry so it can't come back. She's actually going to let another person use a power. She'll take some damage. She gets out her Aegis. And she's going to let somebody use a power. She's going to let Haka use a power. Haka's going to use his Melee. So he'll be able to draw the card he put on top. And he is going to take out that one. Or actually, yeah. He'll take out the Frost Hound, because that hits everybody. Now I could, yeah, I just realized the Taiaha can't take that out because it's not the one with the lowest health right now. Yeah. So I think what I need to do is throw out the Ground Pound. Let's discard the spare Melee and the spare Taiaha. And we're going to use our Melee, or Melee, to take out the one who targets the person with the lowest health, the Ion Lancer. And Haka is on a mission to eliminate all of Voss's minions so that Tempest can and Fanatic can have a clear shot at him. More villainous weaponry. Yes, I am glad he is doing a ground pound and keeping Voss and his army off their feet. Alright, now this ship is also, his flagship is pulled up. It's immune to melee damage. Now it will deal each hero target 3 energy damage, and at the end of the turn, it will bring a minion back into play from the trash. So it brings back the Fire Swarm. And that's fine. That's not really that much of a threat, since that gives Haka another chance to grab a minion he might have missed. Alright, so this is going to take out the soldier. And order does matter a little bit since he has resistance based on these. But not enough because he still has too much resistance because there's another one left. Alright, now I can use a lightning slash to help tear down this ship. And the localized hurricane. Do some damage to the ship and one of the villainous weaponries. So that Haka can remove both of them and we won't have to worry about the weaponry again. Haka will confiscate it. Alright, she is going to do a brutal censure on the stalwart. She's going after his flagship. And she will use Absolution, doing radiant damage against it. And we are going to destroy Voss's ship. Alright, so we're all vulnerable again. But Haka can get out his Taiaha. And now he can remove the villainous weaponry. And I targeted the wrong one first, but it doesn't matter. Still did enough to take it out. I should have gone for the one with 1 hit point, because I'm supposed to be punishing the weak. Really doesn't matter. Let's choose for me all game. Alright, so he's drawing a lot of cards and piling a lot of stuff underneath Savage Mana. And he's gone through his deck once. Alright, so Pervasive Red Dust is going to get rid of 3 equipment cards. We will get rid of the Mare. We will get rid of Absolution. And we will get rid of the Taiaha. Yes, the dust made us lose all of our weapons. The Stalwart's going to hit all of us. And actually, it's doing more to Tempest because he's still got the localized hurricane. And he set up another Quark Drive translocator with the Stalwart. And the Stalwart has brought back a gene-bound soldier. And the Quark Drive translocator, because the gene-bound soldier showed up, brought in another Frosthound. So this is going to hurt a little. Alright, the electrical storm is going to tear everything except for Voss a little bit of damage. And as much as I would like to get in my resistance or stuff, we really need to start tearing some stuff down. So I'm going to use the chain lightning on the cork drive translocator. And then I will take out the stalwart. And with my last bit, yeah, the Firesworn, I mean the Genebound Soldier's not that big of a threat compared to the others. Let's get rid of him. And now with our localized Hurricane, I can do some damage to the Cork Drive Translocator and take out the Firesworn. And she does not have a consecrated ground, unfortunately. She needs to get out Undaunted. That negates any time she would take 1 point of damage. And she would have to do 2 to herself to be able to make use of this and do some damage to something. So we're just going to skip her powers. That's the card she needed. Alright, so now what can he do? See, he does have that in his hand. He could get that out. But I think I am actually better off playing a Dominion. And then using his Guardian ability to play a Vitality Surge, which allows me to draw. Because we can get rid of the Pervasive Red Dust if all players discard 1 card. Not a problem. He will get rid of Electrical Storm. It's limited. I've got 1 in play. She will get rid of a Divine Focus. There's no point in having 2 in her hand. He will get rid of an Enduring Intercession. Now when it goes away, we'll have it go first. Everyone can put an equipment card back into directly into play. So she gets Absolution back. And he can get his Taiaha back. And now he can draw 3 cards and get even more cards in his hand. Eventually, he's going to be holding his entire deck at this rate. Yeah, he's up to 14 cards in his hand. Now, maintenance level is going to accelerate how quickly cards come out here. Yeah, another Villainous Weaponry has just shown up. Great. That has got to be the last one in that deck, please. Alright, so the Firesworn comes out, which allows him to play another card. And he gets a Bionaut. Now that goes after the person with the lowest health. So everybody's going to take 3. Well, actually, no, Tempest took 4. Well, thankfully, that means this is going to go after Fnatic, who will stay alive because of her Aegis of Resurrection. So she saved Tempest for a turn. I've got a ground pound to keep him alive for yet another turn. Alright, we're going to go across the board and hit some things. And we are going to get out Cleansing Downpour. And out of desperation, we need to start healing. Alright, so She is going to do a Holy Nova. Now that will put some of these in the discard instead of him being able to collect it. That's fine. We need the healing. Alright, and she's actually going to use her ability. Brings out a Zealous Offense. And now she can let Tempest use a power, and Tempest can keep healing us. So she has become resolute and is inspiring the team to come back from the brink of defeat here. Alright, now Haka could do a ground pound now, but I have a different idea. We need to eliminate as many things as we can. So I'm going to elbow smash the gene-bound Bionaut. And he is always going to put things beneath Savage Mana. Alright, so he's going to use the Taiaha to take out the gene-bound Firesworn. And the villainous weaponry. He gets quite a few card draws from this. And we can all shuffle our trash into our decks right now with maintenance level to get rid of maintenance level. Which also allows Haka to draw some cards. So we were able to deal with the maintenance level and keep it from accelerating the base into doing things. But unfortunately, because we shut off the maintenance level, there's now an oxygen leak. Well, that's just fine. She's got a Sacrosanct Martyr in play. She can get rid of this one. And once again, Fnatic is the one who has dealt with the oxygen leak, saving the rest of the team. And Haka now has 23 cards in his hand. Oh, you want to do a forced deployment? What a pity. Who has the highest hit points? Haka. He takes less damage. He takes more. I don't want him hitting him anymore. Alright, now Tempest is going to get out his gene-bound shackles. That increases the damage he deals to the villain with the highest hit points, which of course is... Actually, no. He is going to do Into the Stratosphere. And he is going to put that forced deployment back on top of his deck. So that we don't have to deal with it for another turn. And we're going to heal. And we know what his next card play is going to be. Tempest has delayed it. He was trying to call in more troops. Tempest smacked the communicator out of his hand. Alright, so she can do another Holy... well, actually, we'll save the Holy Nova. We'll do a Brutal Censure on him. And use Absolution against him. Now that we've got him alone, the three of us can pile up on him. Alright, now Haka is going to do a Vitality Surge. And he could actually hit him pretty hard, but I have a better plan. He is going to play Haka of Shielding. That allows him to draw 2 cards. He will get rid of an Enduring Intercession, and 1 is all he needs, I believe. He is going to protect Tempest from the 1 point of from the 1 or 2 points of damage that Voss is going to be doing to him. Actually, it might have been 4. I might have needed to discard 2. We'll find out. He's going to try and protect Tempest a little bit. But it becomes a little bit moot because there's a meteor storm. Nobody can deal damage. And we have a forced redeployment, but of course you can't deal damage. Alright, and Tempest Electrical Storm won't deal damage. Alright, Tempest is going to have to go ahead and skip his turn, so that we can deal some damage. She cannot get rid of the forced deployment, so that is coming out at the start of next turn. So we need to get ready for that. Okay, she is going to get out Embolden on Haka. And she has to do 3 damage to keep Zealous offense. Well, she'll do 3 damage to herself. Get her first card out, or a card out, so she can smite the Transgressor. That allows her to use another power anyway. But she's going to let Tempest use a power so he can get some healing out. And as her other power, she's going to put some more damage on Voss, since he's about to get a bunch of minions. But soon enough, he won't have any minions to keep calling back. Alright, so in preparation for all of these minions about to be showing up, we are going to execute a ground pound. Get rid of that Enduring Intercession and a Haka of Shielding. Actually, I could have gotten rid of some of my spare weapons. There's not really anything I want to get out. Well, I'm going to get to do both. I am going to get to use 2 abilities. So yeah, let's go ahead and use Guardian and get out the Melee. And then use the Taiaha, even though we're only going to hit Voss. We're doing some damage to him. So we've got him down, getting close to half. And yes, you'll take 2 damage from him. Or actually only 1 because of his Tomoko. And we have another Meteor Storm. So the ground pound was somewhat useless. But we had no idea there was going to be another Meteor Storm. But during the Meteor Storm, he was able to get some reinforcements. Just 4. A 5th. Nobody can deal damage. I can't deal damage. Now, I do not have a way to get rid of that other than Tempest skipping his turn. So Tempest is going to skip his turn. We have to get some damage out on these guys. Haka gets to draw more cards. Alright. We are going to neutralize the Frost Hound. It doesn't really matter too much. The Frost Hound and one of the Meridians. And we're going to do a Holy Nova. Now, it won't do anything to Voss, but it'll do a little bit to all of his minions and heal us. And then we are going to deal ourselves 3 more radiant. That gets out a final dive. We'll throw the other Meridian at the Fire Sworn. And allow Haka to use a power. And he is going to use his Taiaha to remove the soldier. And the Meridian. Alright, now I'm actually going to get out another ground pound. No, I'll hold off on that ground pound. I'm going to get out an Enduring Intercession, I think. No. I have a different idea. I'm going to elbow smash the Frosthound. Because I get to use 2 powers. So the 2 powers I want to use is Haka is going to play a card. He is going to play a Haka of Battle. Now he's got almost his entire deck in his hand. Just 4 cards are not in his hand of the ones that aren't in play. He is going to discard everything, because you're about to see some of the power of Haka here. Haka has had enough of this. He wants to quicken the end. This is a lot of cards. Actually, I think I can just double click and hit discard a little faster than trying to drag it. Well, maybe not. Yeah, I think dragging it's about the same speed. So I'm going to try and get through this pretty quickly, because I had a lot of cards in my hand. I'm up to 26. 27 is how many I'll have. So he has discarded 27 cards, and it's going to affect Haka. His next damage is increased by 27. And we are going to use Savage Mana and get rid of all of these cards. And Haka has had enough. Oh, and he gets to draw cards because some of these were environment cards and they're destroyed yet again. I had forgotten about that. So, he is going to almost kill Voss in one hit. That's half, over half of Voss's life. A 50-point hit. Yeah. Voss's max life is 90. That is more than half his life in one smack from Haka. And yes, do some radiant damage to Haka. He can take 1 point. Now what happens? We have another auction leak. Reduces fire damage. One player can discard a card to get rid of that. I think Fnatic will. She's already got Zealous Offense in play. Now Haka gets more cards. Now, even if he gets a forced deployment, he's not going to live long enough for it to come out. So Voss is going to do a little bit. The Haka of Shielding reduced that to 1. Yeah, it would have taken 2 to actually neutralize it. So they did a little bit of damage there toward the end. But I think Tempest is almost going to end this. Let's see. Let's get out his Gene-bound shackles. And he's going to use a localized hurricane. He's going to get rid of that... Oh, he can't get rid of the soldier. But he can do a number to Voss. Enough where she can end this. But actually, what she is going to do, she's actually going to skip playing a card. She's going to be generous. Voss is the one who destroyed Tempest's homeworld. She's going to let Tempest do this. She's going to be resolute. She did a final dive and did a couple of points to Voss. And now Tempest gets to get the last hit with his hurricane and take out his nemesis. Well, there you have it. That was Voss. That was kind of a fun fight. It went forward and backward a little bit. You got to see some of the power of Haka and some of the synergy with the Prime Wardens. They work fairly well together, I believe. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.